Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Digital Binder Project. We are on episode number 11. Oh my god, 11 episodes so far. We last left off on this page of stamping errors where we had double stamps, we had stamps in the wrong language, we had stamps on the wrong cards, we had stamps on the back of cards. So let's see what we have next. More stamping errors. So these three at the top are not very exciting. They're pre-release promos that don't have the date stamp on them at all. This False Prophet and this Lu Bu are also pre-release promos missing the date stamp, except they are considerably more rare. Like insanely, the single digits type rare. At least the ones that we've accounted for. This Beast of Burden is really awesome. This is what I like to call a double whammy. It's two unrelated misprints on a single card, so you can very easily and clearly see that this, well, not clearly until the camera decides to focus, that this card is miscut. And it also is a pre-release promo, missing the date stamp. We've got a stocking tiger down here. You guys may remember when Target had that distribution error, and a whole bunch of these were in those booster blisters that they had. This Sage Eye Avengers here has a pre-release date that I will be amazed if I can get it working on this camera with my luck. Come on. You can just barely see it. Maybe a different angle. But there's the indentation for the pre-release date stamp. That's deciding not to show up to the party. Um, so yeah, a bunch of stamping errors, just continuing the trend. This one happened on -12 July. It's not as funny if you can't see it. There we go. -12 July 2015. Uh, that one's a partial gold foiling on the stamp. Next page, more stamping errors. Um, each one of these kavus in the corner has a slightly different stamping error variation on them. I think two of them are the same though, like kind of pressed through to the back. Let's see if we could get any of that to show up on camera. Probably not with my luck recently. But we got a false prophet with a date stamp that, decided to wander off. Relic Seeker with an inverted date stamp, Wrathy Assassin, and forget what kind of angel this is. Oh, Avatar of Hope, with very slight registration errors on those pre-release stamps. There you go. So they haven't wandered off too far, but enough for me to care. So, and this Dirt Cow Worm is actually really cool. There are a whole bunch of these out there. Really hard to find nowadays, though. Pre-release stamp was at the bottom. Not supposed to be there. Next page. Oh, well, all these cards are upside down. I guess I should go fix that. Oh, wait. So these are cards that have the front and back inverted. It was just a sheet feeding error. They fed them in upside down at one point, and this is what you get. Every card on this particular page is from a different set. A lot of these inverted back cards happen in pre-constructed decks. I could tell you 100% that this card, and this card are definitely from precons. It did happen in native sets as well, but I think the majority of these errors actually originate from pre-constructed decks. That's a theory of mine. We could test that at some point, just by collectively bringing in the group and seeing what cards are out there. Anyway, so inverted backs, all of them. You can see our magic backs are normal. When I flip the page, inverted, easy peasy. Um, this card here has split glue, if you couldn't tell. And what that means. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. I just keep this little piece of paper in here to make it easier to see in the binder for people who don't want to have to take it out. We'll let you show the error. Now, This is something I've been meaning to write an article on, this card right here. A lot of people like taking their pre-release promos and leaving them sealed. And you know what? That's cool. Like, leave the product as it was intended to be. Um, but they do it for like misprints, like Crimps, and pre-release stamp errors. Now, with Crimps, maybe. Pre-release stamp errors, definitely not. There's no need to actually leave these in the plastic wrapping. Some people may disagree with me, but to date, we haven't really found misprint collectors that are specifically seeking out these cards in their wrappings. The reason why this card is in its wrapping is because it actually needs to be in order to be identified as a misprint. And this is a pre-release promo. It came as a singleton pre-release promo, but it's missing the date stamp. If this was outside of this packaging, there would be no way to distinguish this card from a uh, normal factory foil version of Dread Wanderer. Um, So for this card and this specific situation, it actually requires that it's left in the packaging. Um, so don't be so hesitant about taking cards out of the packaging if you're planning on keeping it in your collection or playing with it. Um, and that may sound a little counterintuitive coming from me, the person who's all about preserving things in their natural state. I just don't think it's important for these cards to be sealed most of the time. Um, this card is an exception. So let's keep going. This right here is the only existing booster wrapper um, from 5 Points Bakery or Misprint Magic. He wanted to put together booster cards, and this was one of his prototype boosters. Um, and this one fell behind his desk, I think, when he was cleaning up. He found it later, and that's why this is the only one that exists. Uh, so, just a fun little piece of misprint history right here. Now, let's turn the page. So, we've made it to my page of crimps. Now, I try to cover all of the variety of crimps that exist on this page as best as I can. So, let's go through it. We've got our vertical crimp. Now this is a crimp that happens from the back of the pack. We've got a crimp in the center of the card. And this time we actually have both halves of the card. Sorry about my dogs. We've got a Japanese style crimp that actually has the booster rack peg. Don't know if you guys will be able to see this on camera. There we go. Actually crimped into it as well. I'm gonna take 2 seconds to calm my dogs down. All right, thanks for holding up. Uh, we got this double crimped, crimptolith right. Um, don't know if we'll be able to show it at the bottom, but there's this camera is driving me nuts. I'll have to figure out a better solution for you guys. The camera of focus everywhere else but the card that's right in front of your stupid face. So double crimp on this one. Got double crimps on this Fallen Empires card. There's actually this one is insanely rare in the sense that I've never seen another card like it. It's crimped at the bottom and it's crimped at the top. And that's the only double crimp I've ever seen like that. This is a double crimp that got hit in the center. Uh, Man, these videos gotta suck. This camera just won't focus. I'm gonna have to reshoot the entire series next year. There we go. Just a little bit of that showing up on camera. So yeah, just different styles of crimps. This one, another two-piece crimp diagonally on the corner, but we managed to get the corner with it. So this is my crimp page, and we've made it to the snake collection. Um, so I like snakes in general, and I've decided to collect misprinted snakes, a whole bunch of variety of them. So this is the start of my misprinted snake collection. We've got miscuts showing sheet edges, more miscuts. We got Spectral Chaos playtest cards. We got Portal playtest cards. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna go through these, and if there's anything worth calling out, I'll call it out. So just some twisted miscuts. My standards are a lot less strict for the snake collection than the rest of my binder. Usually, I need a certain quality of misprint to make it into this binder. So that's why things like this off-center Sakura Tribe Elder are allowed in. And actually, now that I've been reminded, I actually have that one. We've got this Printer Hickey Sakura Tribe Elder to add to the snake collection. Got that little magenta splotch right by his eye. A lot of people think it looks like a flower. So where do you want to go? You know what? We're just gonna put you right in there, and you could live behind because you're only off center. Got some miscut sheet edges on Oran Vipers. Got some lore scale coddles. Got a python that's super this, whatever you call this, smeared. So yeah, just if the card has snake in it, a snake in the art, snake in the flavor text, snake in the creature type, it's worthy of being in the snake collection. Got a page of Marsh Vipers here, a whole bunch of different varieties. We got ink errors, miscut, sideways miscut, vertical miscut. We got alpha or alt fourth edition. We got square corners. Yeah, just snakes everywhere. What's wrong with this one? I think this one's just crimped. Yeah. So more snakes. Uh, this Ophidian is actually really cool because if we look at the back of the card, you'll see that there's another card following it, but there's nothing on the front, which means that the card underneath this one is a filler. Cool stuff. We got our Portal Skeletal Snake. Now this is a common misprint that they corrected, but if you look at the toughness, you'll see that there is none. There's just the little shield icon. We had focus for like half a second. Yeah, these webcams really aren't meant to do close-up work like this. And here's the normal version, what it's supposed to look like. All nice and blurry for you guys. Let's see, what else is cool in a snake collection worth uh, calling out? We got some faded snakes. We got color errors. There's just snakes everywhere. People have been super generous when it comes to informing me or giving me or trading or selling snakes, and I've got a pretty decent collection of them, I think. Um, ooh, okay. Here's a card worth calling out. I like double whammies. I like them a lot. Now, this particular card is missing the power and toughness, which was really common on these Spire Winders in something of Ixalan. I think this was Rivals Ixalan. Um, but this one, which is never going to show up on camera because I want to show it to you guys, is crimped. So double whammy. Doggos. Shh. Making video. So yeah, more misprinted snakes. We got color errors, smears, whatever the heck this is. Um, just trying to get as many different creature type snakes with misprints on them as I can. Not really looking for duplicates, but I don't mind them as you guys can see. Um, And I think that about wraps up the snake collection. You know what? Let me go over. I skipped over some of these. Um, this is a crazy clown token, I believe. I think that these are or Minagashi. Um, maybe they're the same thing. I don't know. I don't really follow the non-official Magic the Gathering product world that much, but this one was a snake, so I've traded for it. One of the things I like about this one that will never show up because I'm trying to show it to you is that this particular snake had a typo. The load said. So, at the very least, at least this one was a misprint. Alright, sorry about skipping over those. It's difficult to, on the fly, figure out which cards I want to go into detail about and which ones are worth skipping over. Um, if you guys have any ideas on how I could do that better, feel free to shoot them my way. Comments or Facebook, whatever. Um, but let's keep going because there's more cards and I want to get through at least another page. And this is a perfect page to do it on. This entire page isn't going to show up on camera, but it'll be a good closer. These are all alternate 4th edition cards, which you can see by looking at the back. The top right corner of the A is dark as opposed to a normal Magic card where it is light. There's also a physical texture difference, a cardstock difference. You guys, if you want to know the difference between Alt 4th and a normal Magic card, go to the website, check it out. The thing is, though, this isn't normal alternate 4th edition. This is an entire page of double whammies. This particular alternate 4th edition had registration errors in the front, back, or both. And this is a page that I've collected over the years of 9 of them to make a complete binder page of cards that have registration errors on them, but are also alternate 4th edition. So that's going to wrap up this video. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. Remember, like, subscribe, comment, YouTube stuff, plug. See you guys next time.